for Will Howard today.
Oops.
Go Andy Backstrom, fourth row right, Letterman row.
Cool.
Yeah, well, Chip Kelly just said, when you get settled in a game, everyone gets settled in the offense. Do you feel that, first of all? Or how important is it for you to be settled quick for a fast start for this team?
Yeah, I think that's huge. I think, just being the quarterback of the team, being the kind of the leader, I guess, if you will, of the offense, everyone kind of is looking to you. I understand that responsibility. I feel like, being the quarterback, you kind of have that responsibility of kind of being the, we go as I go, and everyone, I want to be that guy that everyone can look to, in the moments and be ready to roll. If they feel that I'm locked in and that I'm settled in, that should be a green light for everybody else. And, the more that I can help facilitate that and just, practice what I preach and be about it and settle in early. And I think the quicker that we can do that.
Over to the right, Adam King, WBNS 10 TV.
You've had a chance to look at the film a little bit. Kind of what were you most proud of yourself on Saturday, and where did you see the most improved growth?
I think once I got settled in, like you guys said, I think I was most impressed with my decisiveness. And, I feel like once I did make decisions, I pulled the trigger and I was ready. And even, sometimes I didn't make the perfect decision, but, if you're on time and you're decisive with it, then that can kind of make up for mistakes sometimes. But that's obviously not the world I want to live in. And, I want to make good decisions so I don't have to get bailed out by being decisive. And that's, I think, the biggest thing is just ironing out, some decisions and looking at, how we can start a little faster, how I can get into a rhythm a little quicker, and just playing clean, and starting out a little cleaner and not having to, I think we worked through the struggles that we had early. I don't want to say struggles, but, some of the sloppiness that we had early, we worked through it and it was good, but we don't want to have to do that, every game. We want to be able to start fast and not have to work through adversity if we don't have to.
Third row right, Dylan Davis, Delaware Gazette.
Just what have you seen about Western Michigan on film as you got a chance to look at them this week, and what stands out to you defensively?
I think they got a new defensive coordinator. He came from Louisiana Tech, but I think they're doing some different stuff, than they did down there. Pretty standard. It's not going to try and fool you a lot with what they're doing. I feel like, on our eyes, but they're pretty good at what they do. And, I think they did a pretty good job against Wisconsin last week. They fought hard. I think they have some decent players, some pretty good players inside. One of their corners isn't a bad player. I think this week we got to, reframe our minds and just attack them however they give us, opportunities.
Deep right, Jeremy Birmingham, the podcast.
Well, a couple weeks ago you talked about not needing to be Superman. Right. And then there was one point on Saturday where I wasn't sure if you were trying to be Superman or if you just realized you had a team full of Superman. And so you decided that I'm going to just try this and throw it to Travion behind you. When you look at that play coming out of it, what was your thought process? And where do you feel like, how do you avoid that, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, that is something that I can't do. I mean, just putting the ball in harm's way. We talked about it. And I think it was just, again, me trying to make something happen, when things don't go the right way. But, it's just having the wherewithal to know when to try and make plays and then also be smart enough to not put the ball in harm's way or make decisions that, could put the ball, like I said, in harm's way. And for me, it's just, in that situation, I just got to tuck the ball, go down and eat it, because at that point, they got us. They showed a boundary pressure. They brought one from the field, good for them. But at the end of the day, I just got to minimize those errors, putting the ball in harm's way and just, taking care of it. And, because at the end of the day, possessions and especially in that middle eight, taking care of the ball is really important.
Fourth row middle, Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Well, Chip was just talking to us about the helmet communication, and I guess I hadn't thought about it this way, but he mentioned he can talk to you, you can't talk back.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how you handle that, being that it's a new thing. I assume you guys have lots of conversations on the sideline. And then when he gives you multiple plays, just your ability to decipher which one is the right one, how you felt you did with that.
Well, I mean, we've been working with it, since spring, so it's not really a new thing that we have had to deal with. I mean, obviously this year it's new, but we've been doing it for, pretty much the whole time I've been here. So, it is new, but I think, for it being the first game, I think we did pretty well with it. I obviously can't speak back to him, so he doesn't know, when I've heard it or what I've heard or, if it cuts out or anything like that, but we're working through those. We have hand signals. If I, throw my hands up, I can't hear you, it's just like little things like that. Like, but at the end of the day, like it's just kind of working through the progression of it. And I think it was pretty smooth week one. I think we were able to have a little dialogue, on the headset. And I think it's really, really beneficial for us. I think, we can continue to move on and keep using it in a good way going forward.
Right next door, Tony Girdman, Buckeye Huddle.
Will, you got all these 5-star NFL players around you in your first game as a Buckeye. You're the offensive player of the game. What was that like for you?
Yeah, that was really nice, but I really don't pay attention to that stuff. I was just worried about grading out a champion for my team and getting that win, and that's the thing that matters the most to me. Obviously, it's an honor to be named that and whatnot, but all that matters to me is getting a win in that win column. And at the end of the day, if I do my job well enough, then we should be able to do that every week, because we got the guys to do it. We just got to be the hardest playing team in America and do my job and grade out a champ.
Did you grade out a champion?
Yeah.
Player of the week, front row right, Austin Moore.
Will, you referenced after the game, like there were so many firsts for you, even though you've been playing quarterback level for a long time, doing this at Ohio State for the first time, and routines, traditions, all that stuff. Do you, now that that's out of the way, does this Tuesday feel like you're already into a routine? Does it feel different than a week ago at this time?
100%. I think for me, it's just like, getting into the rhythm and doing it once. Obviously you can't replicate doing it until you actually do it. I think now that I've done it once, now that we've had, obviously before going into week one, we kind of had like a week that was sort of like a game week, but it's not actually like it until you get into it. And this is the most normal that our schedule's been, for a in-season week. So I think settling into the routine and knowing what I'm going to watch, what days, and what when I'm going to meet with coach, when I'm going to do my own thing, like just kind of getting into that rhythm. And I think this week I'm able to settle in a little more. And I think finding what worked last week, what didn't work, how to change it, how to, manipulate it in a way that can, be the best for me and, for the staff and for everyone, is I think kind of what we're working through right now. But, I think going into this week, for me, it was a little bit like an away game, almost like my first home game. But now it's like, okay, I'm settled in. This is the new norm for me now. And I'm like, all right, this is home now. And, I'm settled in. So it's good.
Deep left, Jeff Gilbert, Press Pros.
I know you're comfortable being a leader on the field and the huddle and all that, but this role here, you come out and talk to us all the time now at this place. How's this feel? Do you like this? Do you dread this? What's this like?
No, I like it. I like talking to you guys and spreading the news of the Buckeyes and whatnot. And I know that there are some people that don't, like doing this stuff. And if I can be that guy for the team, be the face, and talk to you guys, then I'll be happy to do that. I feel like being the quarterback, you kind of have to be that representative and, good or bad, I'm going to show up and talk to you guys and answer your questions. And that's what I want to be here and do. I appreciate what you guys do for us. I do. And, I want to make sure that I give that back to y'all. Yeah, it's fun, man. I like doing this stuff. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
All right, last question, Bill or Joey, either one of you.
I tried to defer and be nice. When you watched the tape, when you watched the video, was there one thing that struck you that maybe you didn't realize or didn't see on a Saturday?
No, I don't think so. I think there were more opportunities for me to use my legs than I did use and than I thought. Looking back at it, I'm like, dang, I could have gone out there and ran maybe a little more. And that's maybe one thing I'm a little rather than maybe throwing the ball away or, throwing a contested ball, like, hey, just go get what I can with my legs. Maybe that was one thing that maybe stood out, but for the most part, especially with the film on the sideline now, I feel like coming out of the game, like I know what I did well and what I didn't do well. And I'm like even before I've watched the film, I'm like, okay, I know what plays I need to watch and want to watch again, because I've gotten the opportunity to watch it already on the field. And I know what plays I messed up on and what I need to work on. But looking back after it, I think that was one thing that maybe I could work on. I like it a lot. We used to do it in high school when I was in high school, and I'm a big visual learner. Like, it's obviously really hard to just remember the play. But being able to see it and look at it, because when you're in the moment, sometimes things are going fast and, you feel like you see something and it looks like something else. But, I think now, the older that I am, I think it's a lot of it's just confirming looks and, hey, where was this guy lined up pre-snap, to show that they go to this coverage or, whatever it may be, just looking at stuff like that. I think it's really helpful and I really enjoyed it.
Will, thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Go Bucks.
David?